Hello and welcome to another one of Charlie's hikes. I'm out here on the East Bank Trail at Baker Lake. This is like an old friend to me, this trail. I've trained out here for the Mattahay Trail. Been out here backpacking several times. And yeah, it's all very familiar. But I really like this trail. You get views of Mount Baker, views of the lake, views of other mountains in the area. From certain places you can see Shuckson. It's nice, and it's a rolling hills kind of trail. Not too much elevation gain, but enough to keep it interesting. Got Anderson, I believe it's Anderson Creek coming up in a little while, and that requires the bridge, I think, washed out years ago, and so it's going to require some navigation of that crossing. It was really warm yesterday as well, like warmer than it's been all year, so expecting there's probably, at least it's morning, but could be some snow melt in there. Well, there will be. That'll raise the creek levels above what would be normally happening. So yeah, it'll be more exciting later in the afternoon coming back. So this is an out and back. I'm looking at doing possibly 18 miles today. I may cut it a little shorter than that. This is our first obstacle of the day. We had a big winter storm back in December. Caused a bunch of flooding in the Skagit River and landslides and a whole variety of things. So I'd read there was a landslide up in here. And this is it, but people have, and I'm sure the Forest Service has worked on this too, created a nice little deviation around it. So not a problem. Moving on. All right, here's another area. This one's more impressive. Just gonna need to work my way down through there. Looks like people have done that. Yeah, pretty straightforward. This is a pick your adventure situation. I decided to take the over, but I'm rethinking it. I'm going to go under. Well, my heart just stopped a little bit. This happens on occasion, but usually you don't see it. I couldn't get the camera out fast enough. A old tree just popped, broke in half, and pieces of it fell all down the ridge. And one of them is down here on the trail. I'll show it to you. Here's a piece of what's left of that tree. Made quite the racket. Definitely not something you want to have happen right above you on the trail. This was a little bit ahead, probably 30 yards up, but close enough to get my attention. quick summary here. The water's pretty deep on either side of this one, so my poles aren't going to do me any good. It's pretty narrow. Look at some rock hop options. The rocks up there, it's too slick. It's too big of a step for me to get across there. A little too unsafe. That big log, it's got a big crack in the middle. It's pretty thin up that way, so no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to give this log a try. I'm going to scooch it. I'm going to be on my butt going across there. I think the safest way to cross it, I'm just going to stow my poles, and then I'll just have the last part of this challenge, which looks like it's probably right over there to go across. So more to come. We'll be back on the trail soon. Step one complete. Now for this challenge. A little less daunting, hopefully. Alright, that was an adventure. I kind of knew it would be. So that scooch method worked pretty well. A little hard on the thighs, but that's all a part of it. Going back this afternoon, like I said, the water's likely to be higher, so I'm gonna have to be even choosier. I won't care if I get my feet wet quite as much though. Only got my right foot wet a little bit, so all in all that was a success. And now the trail pretty well opens up. I think that's the last major obstacle for a little while, but we'll see. Some beautiful campsites out that way. Views of Baker and Chuckson. But I'm gonna keep pressing on here. Just a few blowdowns like this beyond Anderson Creek. All right, it's getting a little more extensive at this point, but still no big deal. Got this one up here as well. This one's a bit more formidable. It looks like an under to me. That's always the judgment. Is it an over, an under, or around? It could be an around. I'm going to eyeball that too. Well, that was an under with the pack off. Those are always time consuming. I wanted this experience today because Section K of the PCT, it is basically, well, it is Rainy Pass to Stevens Pass. There's something like 60 to 70 miles of unmaintained trail in there. And if you've watched any of my Olympic videos over the years, a lot of Olympic National Park and National Forest, a lot of that stuff goes unmaintained. So got some experience with it, but I wanted to put myself in a situation where I was dealing with blowdowns and things before the trail maintenance crews from the Pacific Northwest Trail get in here for the season. So yeah, getting my money's worth so far. It's not crazy. It's not like 100 blowdowns in 5 miles or anything, but which I dealt with once in Olympic National Park in the Cameron Valley. Different story for a different day, but it's enough. It's enough definitely to be challenged, especially with this load that I've got, which is mirroring the load I'll have on the PCT this summer. So all about preparation training when it comes to doing big things, and I'm really excited for the summer trip. Maple Grove's a nice lovely campsite, goes down to the lake. But I'm going to keep going. Going to Noisy Creek, where we'll turn around. Here's a little more blowdown excitement. little more blowdown challenge here. This one can get slick. This is most of the way to Noisy Creek, but I've wiped out on this one before because of the slant from right to left. It's a little campsite area down here on this bay. Last time I was here, one of our group members camped down here, and we camped up at Noisy Creek, which is only about a mile away. Pressing on. This area is Silver Creek. It's like a bridge issue with stock here. Last time I was here, this was last year about this time, we crammed into this campsite. Okay, that was Noisy Creek, so heading back to the car at this point. About 10 miles out, so I can look forward to about 10 miles back. And yeah, it should round out to about 20. I thought it was going to be a little less, but this is great. Also, should be somewhere around 2,500 feet of elevation gain. So it's warming up. It's in the mid to upper 50s now, and it's turning into a beautiful day. Those people camping out there on a little peninsula. That's normally not a peninsula. Normally there's a channel there, but the lake's low enough they could just walk out. So that's a pretty sweet campsite to have. All right, I'm gonna do some light filming on the way back. I'll definitely film Anderson Creek. The rest of it will just be if I see something interesting. Thanks again for joining me on another one of Charlie's Sights. All right, there's the log I scooched across earlier. I've got an option with another log crossing in a different spot to potentially get to that. But I'm just looking at this relatively calm water down here. And I'm planning to just ford it. To get over there, I can get back up on the trail pretty easily. Only got like 2 miles left in my hike, so at this point I don't mind getting my feet wet. Here we go. Well, that went just fine. Sometimes the easiest way is just straight through the water. So, felt good. Yeah, like I said, about 2 miles left. Yeah, almost there. Big day. It's been great. Feeling really good. Wanted to mention as well, a few years ago I did a hike around the lake. It was 33 miles. And I'll leave a link to that video in this video if you want to check it out. It's a lot of road walking on the other side, but it was a great challenge day and kind of a neat way to see the whole lake from every angle. Love this section of forest. It's very peaceful. Couldn't resist that shot. Loved it with the lake. Beautiful forest out here.